Okay, so what you're going to do is put your last name first and your first name last. Okay. Now, this is in case you want me to hold on to these. I do put them in order, and I do look at them. So whatever you write on these, I'm going to read. All right. If you look on your quiz, by the way, those of you who did not take the quiz, I am going to put 0 in there unless you speak to me today. Okay? And we come up with some kind of date that you're going to take the quiz. Now, if you notice on the quiz, let me grab it. That's why I put the scores. In these little boxes, it tells you what sections these are. And every time there's a line, there's a new section. Okay, so in this section, this was 1.3 part 1. So let's say we had 4 sections, first of all. We took this on the 24th, 8, 24, 18. There's my first section. Here's my second section. Here's my third section. And my fourth section. Okay. First one was 1.3 part 1. And if you want to put a brief description, that was algebraic expressions, right? Algebraic expressions. And I did really well on those because that was really Algebra 1 review, so I got a 5. And I did all my homework. Got a 5. Now, you put your grade, whatever you got. Then, the next section, 1.3 part 2, was algebraic applications. It was just the applications to part 1. So I'm just going to put applications. I'm going to abbreviate it. I got tricked up on question number 7, so I got a 3. And then we did 1.4 part 1. And 1.4 part 1 was solving linear equations. Okay. Solving linear equations. I made a real simple mistake, but my teacher was nice and didn't take off any points. I got a 5 on that one. Then we did 1.4 part 2. Part 2 was what? Isolating variables. Okay. And I did really horrible. I got a 2. So, a couple of ways you could figure out your overall grade as of today. Now, these are worth 5 points apiece, so 5, 10, 15, 20 points total, right? So I can add all these up 5, 8, 13, 15, and divide that by 20, and you should get 0.75 or 75%. Now, you can do this individually too, because that's what Skyward does. Percentages. Well, 5 out of 5 is what? 100%. 4 out of 5, 80%. 3 out of 5. See a pattern? Okay. Skyward does it by percentages. So on your first quiz, it's going to see that 5 and say, okay, you got 100% for that section, because I put them in as sections in Skyward. This section, 3 out of 5, is going to give me a 60%. And a 5 out of 5 is going to be 100% again. And a 2 out of 5 is going to be my 40%. Again, I average those. I would do it this way. It's easier. You could do it this way. 100 plus 60 plus 100 plus 40 is 300% out of a total of 400%. I still get 75%. Easier just to look at Skyward and put 75% in there, right? And then you should initial it, DD, and date it. Today's the 28th. Makes it official. Any questions thus far? All right. Suppose, now we're not going to have a quiz on Friday, so don't write this down. But suppose we have a quiz on Friday, okay? And on that quiz, I decided on the next quiz that we're going to retake this section, 1.4 part 2, and we are going to retake 1.3 part 2 applications because there were a lot of just what I call easy mistakes. All right, so that's going to happen on 8/31 this Friday, but don't write that down because I'm just hypothetical. Okay, we're going to do 3.1, 3.2, systems of equations, and the other test we're going to have is 1.5, which I think is absolute values. But we're going to redo these two sections also. Okay, so this will be attempt number 2 on that, 8/31, 18, and on this section, 8/31, 18. Now, the reason why I'm having you do these tracking sheets is because when I do Skyward, Skyward is not a standards-based grading system. It's that percentage thing I was telling you about. I'm going to, the parts that we redo, I'm going to put as formative grades, put it again on quiz 2, re-add them back into Skyward, and put the highest grade. It gets messy. It's really messy, hard to understand. You'll see your overall percentage, but pretty hard to figure out what it is. Okay? So when quiz 2 comes along, say you got a 5 on 1.3 part 2 and you ended up getting a 4 there, and I've got a systems I did really good in absolute values, maybe I got a 3. So then these replace this. So to average your grade, use this, 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 and this, and you divide by 20, 30, 40. I'm sorry, 20, 25, 30. We'll get to that next quiz. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. But see how these are automatically retaken? Now, suppose I got a 5 the first time. Guess what? On the next quiz, when you have that section, you know what you're going to do? Skip it. If you're happy with the grade you got the first time, there's no reason to do it a second time, right? 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 Okay. Do you understand that? You got a 5 or a 4 the first time. Why bother? Okay, you've got 2 sections here. Don't concentrate on those. Concentrate on the new ones that are going to be on there. Okay, everyone understand that? Now, you're asking yourselves, well, that's all fine and dandy, but you know what? I did horrible on part 1. I got a 2 on that. Because I had a brain fart and I couldn't remember back from Algebra 1. And you're not going to redo it on the next quiz. what do I do? Any ideas? Hey, I got one. I'm going to get myself a retake form. Now, suppose I've got well, what you do is you put your name on first, and the date you're going to turn this in, that's today. I'm going to turn myself in as if I got a referral or something. And it says here, you must select 3 items of the 4 conditions to retake a test. Well, here's my 4 conditions, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. You only need to complete 3 of these. Okay, so either corrective summative, that's always a good one, because it's pretty much what you're going to be retested on, maybe a different number. Completed review. Everyone, I'm going to retake 1.3 part 1. Everyone could have this one checked because we did it in class. And then either your homework check or a remediation form, which I'll have another file bucket box over there. So 3 of the 4 that you have to do if you have a 2 or 1. Now, if you got a 3 on this section, like I did, I got a 3, but I knew that this part 1 is really easy, and I just made some, silly mistakes. So if I got a 3 or 4, I want to get a 5 because there's going to be harder sections down the road that I'll take the hit of a 3 or a 2. I don't want to take a hit of a 3 or a 2 or a 4, even a 4 on something so easy as algebraic expressions. So I'm going to fill out my golden ticket retake form, and I want to retake part 1. I want to retake it until I get a 5 because it's one of the easier sections. Then you're going to put this in the turn-in bin when you're complete. And then I will give it back to you, and I'll put your name on it. I'll probably just give you the slip, and I have to make a new problem. So give me a day or so to do your problem, and we schedule some kind of date. We'll put a date on there. Tomorrow after school, Thursday after school, Friday in the morning. ¿Comprendes? Anyone? Anyone? Questions? Comments? Concerns? Did I cover everything? Rating policy? Kind of different. A little different from other teachers. But we'll get through this. If you want me to keep these, I'll collect them in a minute, in a couple minutes. Otherwise, put them in your folder in a safe place, because these are your grades. They're confidential. Don't lose them because they're your grades. You don't want anybody else seeing your grades, right? Or what I suggest, give them back to me and I'll keep them for you. All right.